तुषार हार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्ड मण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मा
So I'm going live now. Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining. My name is Dr. Sanjay Muthal, and I'm extremely delighted to be talking to you this evening on this very interesting topic of leadership and career. What are the challenges and opportunities that COVID has thrust on us? And what are the challenges and opportunities we have post-COVID once we get back to normal? The definition of normal itself will change, and we'll talk about that in my conversation. At the outset, I want to thank the entire Wanjari group of institutions for having called me. Suhasini ji, Smita ji, and the promoter himself, and my friend director who's invited me to speak to you this evening. I'm grateful to them for this invitation. Let's talk now about where are we today? Let's talk about what are we facing today and how did we arrive today? In the history of mankind, especially in our generations, we are at the unprecedented time, the time that this generation never saw. We are on lockdown. We do not know where are we heading to. Everybody is in prayers for either vaccine to come, or some say that if herd immunity comes, probably we will see some better days. But let's go to the genesis of this virus called COVID-19. You know something, who's responsible for this? There are two theories. One says in China somebody ate bat and it has come out of that. The second theory says it's come out of the experimental lab, again in China. Believe you me, the only person responsible for this danger that is lurking on us is you and me. It are the human beings, those are responsible for causing this grave situation through which the virus has emerged. And why I say that? I say that because every danger that lurks humanity arises out of one negative characteristic of human beings, which is greed. There's a greed for power, there is a greed to compete, there's a greed to tell others I'm better than you. The nations fight for nuclear arsenal. Nuclear arsenal is detrimental to environment. Nations fight for superiority. You and I fight for supremacy between ourselves, between our neighbors, between our colleague. In the process, what have we done? What have we done to environment, to the nature? We consumed everything that nature gave us in abundance. We destroyed, in the name of development, flora and fauna. We destroyed trees. We destroyed ecology. The ozone layer, which was closer to Earth's hemisphere, has gone far distant because of the pollution, because of everything that we did in terms of completely destroying and not respecting the nature. Impact of all our actions of not respecting nature, not respecting fellow human beings, betraying trust of each other, has led to creation of this virus. Had human beings were trustful, if human beings believed in each other, if human beings did not destroy nature, human beings respected animals, respected their right to life, did not kill animals and ate them. All of this have contributed today to creating one minuscule virus which is threatening the biggest and the mightiest life on this earth, or a generation or animal called as man, who is supposed to be the most powerful. He's got all the arsenal. Some of us are equipped with hydrogen bomb, some of us are equipped with atom bomb. What's the use? One tiny virus today has told us, listen guys, you may be very powerful, you think you are very powerful, but come and face me. And our response has been, we are locked down because there is no solution. Please reflect on this. This is the fundamental of our life, our lives. It's not about you and me, it's about us. There is a very fundamental lesson that this incident has taught us. And that lesson is be kind. That lesson is trust people. That lesson is trust the environment. Don't abuse environment. Don't abuse nature. It has given you an abundance, but you misused it. You did not care for it. And now, when nature observed you for, by giving away all the time, probably nature also is telling you, like there is a proverb in Hindi, "So sonar ki ek lohar ki," it's my time. I am giving you back now. Come on, show me how you face. I think at a very philosophical level, it calls for reflection. It calls for reflection from all of us. It calls for reflections from nations. It calls for reflections from leaders. It calls for reflections for you and me, ordinary human beings. And it calls from reflection from the entire humanity. After a bit of a philosophy, let's look at the genesis of this particular unprecedented times. I can trace the origin of this to Wuhan, where it started in China. 17th November 2019, the first death was reported in Wuhan. 17th November 2019. What was our response? What was our response? Our response was, it's happening there, it's not going to happen to me. It's very far. You know where is China? My God, miles away. It's not going to happen to me. Everybody was caught napping. Nations were caught napping. Businesses were caught napping. People were caught napping. And all of us, therefore, did not believe that you and I will get affected by that. With the result, we slept. With the result, we did not act. With the result, the virus reached you and me in our land, in our offshores. And then suddenly we realized that, oh God, it's round the corner. What do I do? So all of us, including the nation, including the businesses, we got into a reactive mode. First lesson of running organization is, can you be proactive than reactive? Were we proactive? No. Because we believe it's far away, it's not going to touch me. मेरे घर में नहीं आने वाला है. ये तो किसी और के घर में है. Let me relax. We continue to party. We continue to lead our normal life as if nothing is happening in the world, because we thought it's not going to come to me. Suddenly came mid of March, and we realized the danger is lurking at yours and my doorstep. People have to react. Governments have to react. Before it came to us, if I look at global, we know after China, it was Italy which got affected the most. Italy, Spain, France, closer in Asia, Iran. And the mightiest power on this earth, called United States of America, we saw what happened there. We had the same, they had the same outlook, that it's far, it's not going to come to our shores. And the impact has been disastrous. We all know US has suffered the maximum calamity, unfortunate human life. Over 100,000 reported deaths, unfortunate deaths. Reflecting on India, we must thank our leadership then to have taken this decision of lockout very much in time. There were critics who will say we could have done it a week earlier, but so be it. At least we are and we were able to minimize the damage. We don't know so far, but statistically today, although we see tremendous growth in some of the states in terms of the impact of virus, but calamity wise, we should be thankful to our government that we took some steps in time, and of course to a lot of theory around our upbringing, our defense mechanism, and that the BCG inoculation that all of us have taken in our childhood, etc., etc. But so be it. The fact of the matter is, we were forced into lockdown, I think mid or end 25th. I don't recollect the exact date. We were forced into lockdown. What were businesses doing? Let's shift from global nation now to businesses. As I said, businesses were caught napping. As if everybody was waiting for lockdown. Proactively, nobody did anything in terms of what is my continuity plan? What is my business continuity plan? All of us reacted post the event of starting of lockdown by some of the organizations put BCP in place, business continuity plan in place. But when the lockdown happened, none of us were prepared. In fact, everybody said now work from home. But how many organizations were equipped digitally on an IT platform to enable work from home, except perhaps the IT and services companies? Most of the organizations were not. I'm sure all of us are aware we are a manufacturing-led economy, which is brick and mortar economy, which is touch and fill economy, which is where people have to go to work to produce goods, where people have to go to offices to support the distribution, sales, marketing. So, where was the WFH, work from home infrastructure available? It wasn't. Neither we bothered to create it between November and March. Because as I said, we were caught napping, or we were completely overconfident that this is not going to affect me. Why should it? Why should I bother? Why should I put BCP in place? But believe you me, when the virus came, work from home became compulsory. We then reacted. We then reacted by putting BCP in place. We then reacted by putting, and I'm also going to go a little bit into people aspect of BCP. I come from human resources background, and hence it's imperative that I speak on people, and that's focus of my discussion today. But when you make a BCP, there are 5 fundamental pillars of BCP. People safety and continuous engagement. First fundamental of any business continuity plan is people safety. Then you need to reshape your strategy for business continuity. Look at your cash flows, look at your P&L, what state it is, look at your stocks, look at your WIPs. The third important aspect of any BCP is communication. Communication with all your relevant stakeholders. Employees, customers, suppliers, investors, and the government. So people safety, reshaping your strategies, cash flows, communication with relevant stakeholders. BCP also entails that you maximize use of government support and policies. Because as the pandemic started, government started giving certain support to industry, to people, to ordinary people, so on and so forth. But so that's the fourth piece of, and building resilience in preparation for the new normal, which means when the normalcy returns, how are we going to transition back from the BCP to working normally as we were doing in the history or before the, that's fundamental of BCP. But what has happened in reality before we put BCP in place is it has pushed us into, the virus has pushed us into unprecedented time. This time is not known for us in the history. We heard of Spanish flu. Most of us, or neither I think person would have seen that in over a century ago. The reflection of all this on the businesses has been dramatic, has been completely. And I have some statistics, and I'm going to quote you on that, which is very surprising, which is very what you said, disheartening, but reality. And this is where challenges are, and this is where we'll have to look at opportunities. We have lost 12 crores jobs in India. 12 crores, sir. And globally, they expect about 195 million, or 20 crores job losses to happen by July, August. 6.5 trillion investor money is wiped out. There was a mayhem in the stock exchanges. Unemployment rate of last month declared is about 24%, and some are saying now it's almost touching 30%. These are unprecedented times. As it is, our employment market was not very large. That has further shrunk. What is the impact of that? There's a huge socio-economical, there's a huge socio-political impact of this. All of us are witnessing perhaps one of the worst humanitarian crises, at least in our country, in terms of migrant labor going back home. The pictures are heart-wrenching. People are walking thousands of kilometers. I'm sure you have seen a picture of one side bullock and one side a boy drawing the bullock cart with his family sitting inside. We have seen people hungry. We have seen children hungry. We have seen people walking barefoot for miles. It has put one of the worst humanitarian crises of our times. To deal with this, on one side, all of us expect government to do many things, but we didn't do anything. Unfortunately, industry didn't do much. Unfortunately, of course, there are voluntary people who are doing, there are NGOs which are doing. Government has now stepped in and doing something. We know the stimulus package that is announced, which also deals with, and I'm going to deal with that in a while. But I'm telling you, despite the biggest slap on our face and on the face of humanity, the way we dealt with migrant laborers has been inhuman. And we means you and me, common citizen. A person who had enough to feed for himself and his family did not care for a person who was walking outside his door for miles. It's going to have impact. It's going to have disastrous impact. But you know what's going to happen? Now month's time, on lockdown 1 is announced, on lockdown 2, on lockdown 3, when things come back to normal, For love of you, these migrant laborers, these daily wage earners are not going to come back to your cities. They are not going to come back by lure to come back to your businesses. Which means on one side, you will find normalcy, you will find demand coming up, but you will not have labor. You will not have, construction will start, but construction labor will not be available. Factories will start, but casual labor will not be available. Manufacturing will start, but contract labor will not be available. Which means you have one slap on your face from virus, the other slap is going to come from non-availability of the biggest resource that you had, but you handled him very poorly. So he's not going to look at your face again. And I think that's a huge lesson for all of us, especially managers. You may be managing whatever, you're managing governments, you're managing businesses, industry, department. But we failed them. We failed them miserably. Ladies and gentlemen, reflect on this. Pause. Reflect. Look into mirror and say that did we do well? Did we deal with them very well? Sorry, we have failed them. As I said, government is trying to do. They have, of course, announced a stimulus package. Stimulus package had broadly, and this is not my subject, but I'm going to just touch upon that. There 20 lakh crores total package was. There is also criticism that hardly anything has come to the last man in the queue. But broadly, what government did is they tried to deal with the supply side of the equation. So MSME got 5,94,000 crores, 310,000 crores were spent on migrant workers, street vendors, self-employed, so on and so forth. 150,000 crore, broad number them picking up. Agriculture, and around for 50,000 crores for structural reforms in coal. We know that something in civil aviation, social and defense production. MSMEs on the demand side has been given good amount of protection now. But unfortunately, we still don't have much on the demand side of stimulus. What I mean to say is that, let me give an example. We are now thick of summers, and your institution is in Nagpur. Nagpur must be blazing with the heat, 47, 48. Come March, April are the highest demand months for white goods, electronic goods, air conditioners, coolers, and what have you. Today, that has come as a discretionary spend. Because there is so much uncertainty about in our own minds about our future, our jobs, our compensation, our salary, our continuity in employment, that nobody is today spending money on discretionary items. And if discretionary item spending is not happening, which means consumption is not happening, and if consumption is not happening, demand is not being generating. And therefore, unlike some of the governments did, like USA, they gave directly in the hands of consumer, civilian, population, the benefits in terms of the compensation, in terms of social insurance, in terms of giving one-time payments, so on and so forth, creating demand. And therefore, one will see now, and you can see that reflect US economy is fairly doing well. And this is a very relative statement. Don't take me on face value. Relatively, it is doing much better. because consumption is increasing. I think we will have to do something in our country as well in terms of getting something to the last man in the queue, citizen, so that he gets an assured money, he gets some relief by which the spending happens. That's the limited point I wanted to make here out of this discussion. Let me now come to business side. As I said, impact of the virus on the industry has been unprecedented. We today are jolted in industry. We are completely broken down in terms of our estimated business plan which we put in, because it has affected the last quarter in our financial year, and it is affected the first quarter, and for most of the businesses first quarter is the glorious quarter. So it has completely affected our businesses, cash flows, P&L. We, again, as I said, reacted. Had we taken some precautionary measures, some proactive measures, probably we would have been better off. But now we can't cry over the spilled milk. Organization-wise, this has had a prolific impact on people. When I say prolific, it has had impact of unprecedented time, unprecedented in terms of weightage on people. All of us know that in today's context, only competitive advantage any business has is its people. And in COVID-19, the maximum impact that we have had is on people morale, people well-being. Do you know the uncertainty about whether my job will remain or not? Uncertainty about when do I go back to work? Uncertainty about will I get next month's salary? Have put so much stress on the only resource that is your competitive resource for industry. That is people. We know the sectors which got maximum impacted: aviation, retail, hospitality, entire hotels, restaurants, travel and tourism. In fact, these sectors are the pillars of our service economy, which was picking up in India and was doing very well. Flights have started now, semblance of flights have started. There's still confusion. Nobody is traveling, so nobody is going to hotel for stay. Nobody is going to restaurant to eat food. Restaurants are not opened in many parts. Where they are opened, they are crying for business. So this whole rigmarole of impact of this virus on the economy is humongous. On the industry, it is completely unprecedented. That's the only word I can think of. So business-wise, today people are saying that now normalcy is likely to return. I am looking at what should I do. The leadership is in huddle. and putting plans to come back to normal. The normal that you don't know when it will be. Even if you have started work today, only 33% people can go or 50% people can go to work. Can you imagine the social distancing norm will have to be maintained? So if I have an organization and I have 10,000 people working and I had created capacity for 10,000 people in some SEZ or in some whatever building that I have owned or I was on the rent, by definition with social distancing of 6 feet, I will only accommodate probably 50% of that. What do I do for augmented capacity now? Therefore, people are saying work from home will become new normal. But sectors which are equipped with that will deal with it well. For example, TCS announced for next 2 years, 75% of their staff can work from home. They are able to do that. They will be able to do that. What happens to manufacturing? What happens to industry that has, where people need to go to work and produce? That's going to get massively impacted. People have been the biggest casualty in this lockdown. As I said, morale has gone for toss. Well-being has gone for toss. This has also caused a lot of interpersonal relationship issues at home. In places like Mumbai, where living apartments are very small, you and I may be blessed to have bigger places. But imagine person staying with 7 members family in one room, 2 rooms. All the time at home, there are instances of domestic violences coming to the fore. Now, these are unprecedented times, as I said. We were not equipped to deal with this. And therefore, tomorrow's leadership, therefore, once we go back to normalcy, we have to reinvent our models of engagement with people. We have to reinvent our ability to work with people, ability to work with teams, and ability to uplift morale of people. In HR, in people strategy, one of the biggest grows I have with my fraternity is, again, we were reactive in responding as a subset of BCP. Even in that, we were reactive. Why should always, whenever there is an optimization of cost, why should always, when we talk about rationalizing expenses, first thing you should talk about is job losses? Why should you talk about people losing job as the first priority? There can be many avenues which we can think of in terms of cost rationalization before touching livelihoods of people. We are not only touching their jobs, we are touching the entire family who's dependent on them. It's a thought. You have to ponder about this. So many companies have declared bankruptcies. Hertz, Virgin Atlantic in Australia. Here we are seeing some media houses. What departments are getting closed. All I'm saying is, if people are your competitive advantage, if people run your business, give people consideration that they deserve. Look at alternate options. And what could that alternate options be? Can leadership come ahead and say that we will take pay cuts? The top management will take 50% pay cut, middle management will take 30% pay cut, the operating management will take 10% pay cut, but will ensure that job losses do not happen. I'm not saying job losses will not happen. It may be business reality. It may have to happen. But can that be the last option? Can we look at deferring increments? Can we talk to people and say that, listen, we are in tough situation. This year's variable pay will keep suspended. We will review businesses after 6 months. And if we are on the ball, if we are on budget, we will reverse that and we will pay you. I'm sure people will come forward and say, yes, retaining job is fundamental, especially in a country like ours, where we do not have a large social security network to fall back on. We do not have unemployment assurances. We do not have a strong healthcare system which can take care of you if you do not have a job. And therefore, I think touching people and their lives should be the last resort. And some of us in HR have faltered in this. I'm sure it's time again, as I said, to reflect, pause and reflect, and work with people, work through people, because if that's the only competitive advantage you have, then why not give them a better deal? Why not give them something that they deserve? Ladies and gentlemen, we are now looking at partial resumption. We are now looking at what's going to happen when we resume. We are now looking at WFH being new normal. We are now looking at social distancing as new normal. We are now looking at new office infrastructure. You know, offices which have started, now people are sitting in alternate cubicles. People are leaving one table in a cafeteria and sitting with. Now, all this is having a profound impact on people, their morale, because human being is a social animal. He or she needs companionship. He or she needs to talk to somebody even at work. That's being taken away from the normal. That's being taken away from being real. Now this is going to put new models of engagement with people. That's where leadership will have to reinvent these new models of engagement, new models of dealing with people, new models of communicating with people. Good employers even today are doing extremely well in terms of keeping folks engaged. I know of many corporations where a day of an employee's life starts to morning with health related activities, yoga, exercises, so on and so forth. Midday, there are some learning sessions. Evening, there are some engagement sessions, either music show or singing competition and so on and so forth. So good organizations did that. Some of us did not do that. In new normal now, when normalcy comes, people and only people will have to be dealt with differently. Will have to be dealt with entire different perspective. Some of the industries will take huge time to come back to normal, the ones which are affected today. Aviation, hospitality, realty, auto, tourism, going to take long time to come back to normal. Pay cuts will become near normal. Even to tell people to accept pay cuts is going to take a leadership of a different level, a different nature to communicate and people to appreciate that. So leadership challenge of this normal post-COVID is going to be how to manage virtual teams, how to manage and uplift morale of people. As I said, people are completely stressed out today. There's a huge uncertainty in the mind of an ordinary employee. Leadership has to deal with this issue extremely effectively and cautiously, consciously, and with morality. The next thing that they have to look at is now how to run the business itself, cash flows, funding, working capital. What are the innovative ways now of inventory being sold? There'll be huge inventory piled up. How to open and restart operations. There are SOPs now for restarting the operations. There are reality of cost pressures. How to deal with that? Leadership will have to deal with that. There are new environmental challenges. We have to create new norms of environment. We'll have to create new SOPs for dealing with the new environmental challenges. Some of them are easy, although tough to implement, social distancing, so on and so forth. And the biggest challenge on leadership is going to be virtual versus physical. All our leadership lessons that we learned were on the model of physical presence of employee. Now leadership has to deal with virtual presence of employee. Because WFH for some time is going to be new normal. That's given. And therefore, how do I deal with virtual employee versus physical employee? Everything will change. As a leader, when I had to have a town hall in my offices, I would call people to a large conference room or amphitheater and address them. Now I will have to deal with through technology, through digital platform. The touch and feel of a leadership, the flesh and blood contact with employee is being replaced by digital platform. That's a huge challenge for leadership. What's going to happen to career? As an employee, I'm concerned. What's going to happen to career? As I said, job losses have become reality. As I said, sectors like, I named few, aviation, hospitality, travel tourism, auto, reality are seeing bloodbaths. Some of us will be part of that job loss. How do I rise up? What do I do? What are the opportunities will I get? And how do I prepare for this opportunity is the next challenge that as an individual has about his career. So for me, on leadership, I think, and my own, the challenges I talked, the opportunities are humongous. The opportunities of a new leader to create a new organization is a gift that he has got, because there will be reinventing of the business model. But what he is going to require to reinvent that are some of the new competencies, new leadership traits. Those will be fundamental for a new leader for whatever level you are in. Are you a leader of a country? Are you a leader of an organization? Are you a leader of human resources? Are you a leader of department, team, project? These competencies that I think which exist, but more than ever are going to come to the fore. And I just made some notes. I'm going to refer to that. Empathy is going to be biggest reinvention that every leader will have to have. Empathy. He has to be empathetic to his subjects, his people. Autocracy is not going to work. Because virus has taught this to us. It taught us that it be empathetic to people. Keep their morale high, because they are going to come tomorrow and produce. They are going to come and engage with you to deliver your new objectives, KRAs, budgets, or in terms of country GDP. The fundamental second change that a leadership will have to evolve is building trust. There's a huge trust deficit today. The new normal leadership will have to build trust. The third reality that will happen to a new leadership, which is an opportunity to develop, is frugality will be new normal. Cost consciousness will be new normal. Spend effectively will be new normal, and therefore the frugality aspect of leadership will come to the fore. Digital literacy will be biggest trait competency that new leader will have to have. Analytics will be very central to every businesses, and therefore leader will have to be hands-on in terms of analytical tools. Leading from the front. Lots of leaders have the backseat driving abilities. A lot of leaders, which in some context is good, but tomorrow's leadership, the new normal post-COVID leadership, is going to be going in front. You know how the medical fraternity responded to this COVID? Leading from front. They didn't care for their lives. We must bow in respect of them. Doctors, nurses, the ward boys, the healthcare attendants, the entire ecosystem of healthcare is leading from front today. And that's what post-COVID leadership will be about, leading from front. Telling people, don't worry, I am with you. If there is a danger lurking, I will go ahead, face it first, then you. And the last, most important, is about being transparent. Transparency will be very central to tomorrow's businesses, to tomorrow's leadership, to tomorrow's framework of leadership. On the managerial side, influencing, counseling, upskilling is going to be important mantra for careers. The time that you have now, people who are sitting at home, try and upskill yourself. A lot of things are available on the net. Even people who will stare at job losses, can you look at alternate careers? You know your specialization. Is there an alternate track? Can you upskill yourself? That's going to be fundamental for career for future opportunities. For managers again, re-engaging with people is going to be extremely important. And I think, as I said, even for leadership as well as for managers, team leaders, empathy and compassion is going to be very, very central for our future once we go back to post-COVID normal. There will be opportunities for career, for businesses. I can clearly see that career opportunities will be vastly available in 5-6 sectors. I am talking about, these are mostly services sectors, because the whole life is going to be changing from physical to virtual. And these opportunities for me lie in 5-6 sectors, and for career, they'll be very important. If you can develop skill sets for those, it will be fabulous. E-commerce. Demand is going to go very high to be online. As I said, nobody is going to venture into restaurants at least for next 6 months. Nobody is going to walk into a theater. Grocery, we today exploiting that. So e-commerce is going to be a huge career opportunity. So if now I am a CFO, financial officer, or finance guy, or HR person in a sector which is suffering, hospitality, reality, can I equip myself through a digital program? Can I run some digital skills, new languages on platform, so that I can move to e-commerce as it blasts post-COVID-19? E-commerce for me is going to be a huge sector that will further open up. Healthcare is going to be hugely, all our perspective post this sad, unprecedented incident towards healthcare is going to see change. We'll see a lot of investments in healthcare. And when I say healthcare, entire architecture of healthcare. Hospitals, paramedical staff, medical staff, healthcare providers, third-party insurance players, travel, healthcare tourism, all that is going to go see change, and it's going to create plethora of opportunities. And therefore, for career, my next bet is on healthcare. Pharma is going to grow very big. People are now going to discover and invest into discovering new vaccines, new molecules, because this virus has told us there is nothing more important than human life. And with this focus on human life, pharma is going to be a hugely engaging sector that will further expand, and therefore there are career opportunities going to be in the pharma sector. It could be in research and development, it could be in biologics, it could be in regulatory affairs, it could be in commercial, sales, distribution, IPR, anything. So pharma, healthcare, e-commerce are my favorite. The most important, I think, is going to be information, which is IT. IT will boom for sure, because cost consciousness is for frugality will be central to tomorrow's leadership, and therefore cost conscious mindset is going to be at the center of everything that we do. And lots of opportunities IT and ITS will happen because we will get opportunities from somewhere else where people will be looking at cost consciousness, and therefore there will be more opportunities of outsourcing. Those will be available. And the last but not the least is going to be communication technology. The Zooms of this world are going to flourish, but they are going to be platform for engaging with people, engaging with businesses, engaging with clients, engaging with even courts, legal matters, financial institution. Do you know Zoom's market cap overtook the 5 best scripts globally last week? So communication technology is going to be the other sector that's going to open up. Therefore, upskill yourself, look at your career, take a pause. For leadership, it's going to be a different ball game, because there's physical versus virtual. There is going to be trust. There is going to be transparency. There is going to be digital literacy. And on people's side, upskill yourself. Look at the new sectors, those are coming to the fore. And from people's side, my appeal to everybody is, don't look at people as mere resources. As Sadhguru said, people are not resources, people are possibilities, human possibilities. And when you look at people as possibilities, there are immense opportunities. The whole world is full of possibilities. And therefore, look at people as possibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely happy that I spoke to you this evening. I hope this was useful. But believe you me, the good news is human life will bounce back. But that's the basic nature of human life. That's the basic nature of a human being. We have seen Hiroshima happening, Japan bounced back to normal. In fact, much better Japan happened. We saw Spanish flu. We saw Second World War. Europe got destroyed. Europe got built anew. And Europe became much stronger. I'm hoping, and I'm always optimist in life. I always believe on the good side than not so good side. I have always believed in possibilities than impossibilities, that human beings will arise again. And hopefully those human beings, you and me, people who are gifted by nature, we will see new human beings. We will see human beings who respect nature. We'll see human beings who care for environment, who care for planet, who care for each other. People will be more trusted. Nations who will not compete for arsenal, but compete for giving more opportunities to their people. I am hoping, at least for the time being, the market economy that we are part of, or the whole, most of the part of the globe is part of, will have to have a socialistic approach in short term. We will have to care. The new human being will be more inclusive. He will not let what happened to migrant labor happen again, because it's a part of humanity. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely delighted that I live in hope, I live in optimism, because as they say, when the tide is high, the fish eat the ants. When the tide goes away, the ants eat the fish. It's a law of nature. We'll bounce back. As Thomas Jefferson said, that I'm more excited with the challenges of the future, opportunity of the future than by history of the past. As human race, we have done very well for ourselves in the past. We have taken a pause now. Please reflect. Please unlearn and relearn new humanity, relearn new managerial style, relearn new career opportunities, and make life worth living for the next generation. And ensure that through our respect for each other, viruses of this nature will never arrive on this beautiful planet which is gifted to us by the Almighty. As I sign off, I'll fail in my duty as I said in the beginning, but I have names of individuals, so I want to take their names and thank them. So Wanjari Group of Institution, Govindrao Wanjari College of Engineering and Technology, Dr. Suhasiniji Wanjari, Advocate Abhijit Wanjari, Smita Wanjari, Dr. Smita Wanjari, and special thanks to my friend and director, Dr. Hemant Sonare. I hope this was useful. I'm really happy to have talked to you this evening. I sign off from Mumbai now. I wish you all the best. I wish you very safe time ahead, you and your families. And let's hope and pray that normalcy comes back soon and we are back in the world that we were, in fact, much better world. Thank you very much. Bye-bye and good night.
शिक्षा ही व्यक्ति के चरित्र का निर्माण करती है। शिक्षा ही समाज के नैतिक मूल्यों को स्थापित करती है। शिक्षा ही राष्ट्र निर्माण का सबसे प्रभावी संबल है। इस दृष्टि से संस्था के मुकुटमणि के रूप में समक्ष आया है गोविंदराव वंजारी कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। अभियांत्रिकी इस सदी की आवश्यकता है, अतः आज की पीढ़ी इस अभ्यासक्रम की ओर खींची जा रही है। परंतु अंधी दौड़ को दरकिनार कर देश के एवं विद्यार्थियों के उज्जवल भविष्य के निर्माण के लिए पूरे समर्पण एवं संकल्प के साथ कार्यरत है गोविंदराव वंजारी कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। प्राचीन काल में शिक्षा के लिए उपयुक्त वातावरण में शांत एवं प्राकृतिक सानिध्य में गुरुकुल के माध्यम से अध्ययन होता था। वैसा ही परिवेश है गोविंदराव वंजारी कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का। नागपुर शहर के एकदम करीब, मगर शहर की चहल पहल से दूर, प्रकृति की मनोरम सुंदरता में यह भव्य इमारत सहज ही आकर्षित एवं प्रभावित करती है। अध्ययन के लिए पूर्ण रूप से अनुकूल मैकेनिकल, इलेक्ट्रिकल, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, कंप्यूटर सभी संकायों की प्रयोगशालाएं अपने आप में सुसज्ज एवं विद्यार्थियों को परिपूर्ण अनुभव एवं ज्ञान देने के लिए सक्षम है। यह महाविद्यालय मात्र इंजीनियरिंग की शिक्षा देने वाला महाविद्यालय नहीं, अपितु समाज सेवा का अनुपम उदाहरण भी है। यहाँ विद्यार्थियों की आर्थिक परिस्थिति को मद्देनजर रखकर उन्हें विभिन्न आधारों पर रियायतें भी दी जाती है। आधुनिकतम किताबों, जर्नल्स एवं रिसर्च पेपर से युक्त विशाल लाइब्रेरी, ई लाइब्रेरी, कम्युनिटी ऑडिटोरियम, समय समय पर आयोजित कार्यशालाएं, विभिन्न खेलों तथा एथलेटिक्स की सुविधाएं, सांस्कृतिक आयोजन इत्यादि विद्यार्थियों की सर्वांगीण उन्नति के लिए पूरक परिवेश का निर्माण करते हैं। यह एक ऐसा गुरुकुल है जहां दीवारों में ईंटों के बीच संस्कारों का सीमेंट भरा है, जहां ज्ञान की पावन हवा में सांस ली जाती है, जहां व्यक्तित्व निर्माण ही सबसे बड़ा लक्ष्य है, जहां सामाजिक महत्व नहीं, अनुशासन ही प्राथमिकता है। अमर सेवा मंडल के अन्य समस्त महाविद्यालयों की तरह ही गोविंदराव वंजारी कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का पूरी तरह समर्पित शिक्षक वर्ग अपने ज्ञान से नहीं अपितु अपने आचरण एवं व्यवहार से देश के तकनीकी भविष्य का निर्माण करने के लिए संकल्पबद्ध है।
हौसला दिल में है, साथ है ज्ञान,
हम समाज की देश की शान।
हौसला दिल में है, साथ है ज्ञान, हम समाज की देश की शान। We move to build the nation, we redefine education. We move to build the nation, we redefine education.
हर घर में ज्ञान का दीप जले,
अशिक्षा के अंधेरे ना पले,
हर घर में ज्ञान का दीप जले,
शिक्षा के अंधेरे ना पले। जीवन के लक्ष्य को पाने हम पढ़ते चले, बढ़ते चले। We move to build the nation, we redefine education. We move to build the nation, we redefine education. Wanjari